Southeast Nigeria not available for US, French, or any foreign military base. IPOB warns Tinubu government. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has warned against any plan by President Bola Tinubu's administration to allocate any part of Southeast Nigeria to either the United States of America or France for the establishment of a military base. If the Nigerian government is interested in hosting US and French military bases, such bases should be moved to the northern region of the country where terrorists are on a rampage. IPOB Intelligence Unit M Branch revealed that Biafran territory will become very unsafe should the USA and French bring down their military bases in our land. The Nigerian government must understand that Biafrans do not have enough land, let alone the one that will warehouse either an American or French military base. Currently, Biafrans are battling to curtail the terrorists groomed and sent to our region by northern elders and their leaders. We don't want terrorists to target Biafra land because of US and French military presence. Unconfirmed reports claimed that the Nigerian government was in secret discussions with the French and US governments to set up their military bases in Nigeria after being booted out from the Sahel regions of West Africa. If the Nigerian government succumbs to pressure and allows the establishment of US and French military bases in the West African country, it will regret the decision. If Nigeria is unable to curtail the activities of the local terrorists, what will happen if the foreign terrorists see Nigeria as a potential abode or target? Unfortunately, the Nigerian government has never taken her citizens into consideration in any decision-making, and certainly will not consider their citizens' safety in the decision of hosting foreign military bases as long as dollars are involved. If the Nigerian government eventually agrees to allow the US and France to establish their military bases in Nigeria, let such military bases be sited in the northern and western regions of Nigeria. Northern and western regions of Nigeria have the larger landmass and are borderlands between Nigeria and other West African countries. More so, western and northern regions have been hosting all the foreign institutions and projects for years and therefore should host the foreign military bases. The eastern region does not have sufficient land for developmental projects and agricultural programs, let alone having space to warehouse foreign military bases. We wish to remind the US and French governments that Biafra land cannot accommodate any military base. Yes, Biafra has IPOB leadership as leaders of the new nation, and whatever concerns our nation must go through the IPOB movement's leadership. We are making it very clear that our land is not available for any military base. Allowing any foreign military base in our land is an infringement to the Biafra status and sovereignty. Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. Stay tuned.
And as you have rightly pointed out, I think if you look at it from different perspectives, I don't think Nigeria should ever contemplate hosting those bases. And I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 reasons why we should be worried. Number one, you have already seen that there's already increasing contention by superpowers, trying to get a lot of foothold or to gain more entrance into the West African region, the Sahel region, for example. With the booting of the Americans, we have already seen that the Russians are already creeping in, So if Nigeria is going to now host that base, again, is heightening this is our environment, this is our fragile environment to become a space for great power competition. And I don't think it's something that is going to bode us any good at all. Second is that we already have a fractured relationship with Niger. And you can understand against the backdrop of Nigeria, as leading the ECOWAS to impose sanctions on Niger, but more importantly, also threatened to use military force, to compel the junta to leave. We have already had a fractured relationship, and I think I need to put this on the table. Amongst Nigeria's francophone neighbors, Niger has been the most enduring. Niger has been the one that has the most robust, most friendly relationship with us. But the unfortunate incident of last year's coup have created a serious gap, between us and Niger. Now, if we are likely going to host this military base by the US, is really going to compound rather than address the diplomatic gaps we already have with Niger. Meanwhile, we needed to have that close relationship, that robust relationship with Niger to be able to more effectively deal with some of the transnational cross-border security challenges we are having. Whether you're talking about banditry or whether you're talking about a very enduring, strong relationship we've had in Niger in dealing with the problem of the Boko Haram. Don't forget the fact, again, I keep on mentioning Niger, don't forget about the fact that when we had the major challenge of Boko Haram attacks and displacements in the northeast, the deeper region of Niger played host to most of our brothers, our nationals that became refugees. And so this is a relationship that shouldn't be lost on us in terms of trying to establish a relationship with a foreign power that will make a situation that is bad already worse. The third point I think we want to have to make is what we as security experts do pay particular attention to, which is like there's a direct connection, there's a kind of a correlation between the presence and the interest of Western powers and heightened commitment and the interest of global terrorist groups. And this is much more pronounced even before the death of Osama bin Laden. Granted that some of these global terrorist groups are now hunkering down, but you would completely agree with me that wherever you have U.S. interest, terrorist groups also tend to increase their presence and their attack. They may not be able to defeat U.S. forces, but for them also, it adds to the symbolic value of their global jihadi ideology, that they are fighting their enemy. So, given that pronounced ideological position, particularly from global terrorist groups, that the U.S. is their staunch enemy. Anywhere, any place, anytime you have clear U.S. interest, then it's likely a very good magnet that will address the interest of terrorist groups. So I will not be surprised, for example, if we accept to locate that base, then you begin to see some level of increase in terrorist attacks in Nigeria. Then the last point I want to make is that has to do with our own strategic interest and security as a nation. You could also understand the enormous capacity of the United States to leverage some of the technological prowess and assets it has, to pick intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. But something is very particularly important in that aspect. They are not always ready, able, and willing to share that intelligence with so-called allies, particularly when you needed it so. You will recall their experience with the 2014 Chibok incident when over 200 Chibok students were actually kidnapped.